How to light for cinematic atmosphere. Hello everybody, my name is Marco Bagnoli, I'm a cinematographer, and today we talk about how you get this super nice volumetric light into your shots. You probably see it in a lot of movies where there are windows and this nice hazy atmosphere comes in. After watching this video you should be able to shoot something like that. So this is the first frame we're looking at, and as you can see, damn, here are a lot of things happening. We have this woman, we have this nice little thing what they have here in their hands, then we have this chandeliers at the ceiling, we have this nice windows, and then the main topic of this video, this nice volumetric light that is blasting onto the scenery. So how do we set up a shot like this? Actually, this is a very difficult thing to do. Always have been. There are more and more things how you can make everything a little bit more easy, but most of the time getting this look is insanely difficult. This is how I would approach a situation like this. First things first, we set the location, set the temperature, set our exposure. This is always the first thing you do. You want to have set an exposure that everything has to look like. But in a situation like this, you have to do one thing beforehand, and that is adding haze. Haze is something a lot of people only do at night, but on daylight situations sometimes have such more power. It really fills the rooms with atmosphere and makes lights visible. Also doing outside, I love hazing, adding smoke to daylight scenes because we get a much more three-dimensional image. We create another layer, also separations most of the time from our main actor to the background. So smoke haze, always a nice thing. But the thing what haze does, it lifts the shadows a lot. As you can see, everything that is probably darker brown, black, really get this milky washed out feeling. But I think there's a little secret in this shot, because you see every dark spot and location is very lifted. But when you look at our main actor, there's a lot of contrast. She doesn't look washed out at all. She really pops out of the image, and everything else is very milky. And my opinion is, it is possible that all this haze is added in post with DaVinci Resolve. So you probably saw in my beginning shot also this volumetric light. This is a DaVinci Resolve effect that we have for a few months now. And there are situations where this works very nice. And when you add a little bit more time to it with your masking, your depth map, and do it in the right situation, you can actually fake light like this. The very powerful thing is that you can change the direction of the light. So you can probably do it like this. You can shift it to make it more in this direction. So you're a bit more flexible when you do it like this rather than do it on set. But for 100% it looks better when you do it in practice. But to get this kind of live shaft at this exposure outside, you need the big gun. So you don't, you can forget your 600D, your 1200D. In a location that is this bright, you really need to overpower the light. So something like an M40 and higher is a minimum requirement to get this kind of light shaft of this exposure. And everything is more moody, more dark, can get away with a lot of less power. But another secret you can do, rather than just adding your big light in here and blasting it into the ceiling or strict to the ceiling direction, is just waiting for the right time of the day. Here's an example shots from one of my productions. It was pretty old, 5 years ago or something like this, maybe it's even 6. As you can see, we have this very nice light rays in both shots, and it's actually just the sun. So when you wait, most buildings, bigger buildings, are built around the sun most of the time because you want a bright ambience. So you build the windows like the sun is moving. So sometimes you have a location where you just haze the room a little bit and wait for the right time of the day. The sun does the job for you. But as you can see here, they clearly didn't want to have it in all windows. Only this window has light ray. Normally this would also have one, this would also have one, this would also have one. But I think that it's really nice creative choice that they just wanted to do it on one window, which helps us that our view is also more in this center and not here and there. So what are the lights that we used for now on? We actually only had haze, the big gun, let's tell it 40 for our feeling. That's maybe hopefully enough. So in the LD version, use something like an XT52 or something like this from Aperture or Godox. They're very powerful LED lights nowadays. When you combine it with a Fresnel, you can get a pretty similar look, I think. So then the only thing you should add is, because we have so much haze, so much ambience, you need a bit of contrast. So in a situation like this, you put a negative fill, so a lot of black cloth just across the whole room. Every wall on this side, dark, 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 dark. So this light is not bouncing back here and fills in all our shadows, because we like shadows. Shadows make things cinematic, contrasty. So try to counter everything with this background, with this negative fill. Otherwise, the look wouldn't be as punchy at the end of the day. Also, when you haze a room and you have something like here where the person should be very prominent, only haze in the background. The hazer should not cross this place. Otherwise, what's happened here will happen at her. That's not what we want most of the time. So try, when someone is using the hazer, a pocket hazer or something like this, to just add a little bit more punch. Always have an eye on him and tell him stop there, because they like to just run across the whole room and haze the full room. And I hate it. Here have we a little bit of a close-up situation, and now they turned the light a little bit more down and added another one in the background. And as you can see, they're also from the color temperature very warm. When we're working with an HMI, you should use foils to make it a little bit warmer to get this really, really nice sunset look. But you actually, she's not that warmly lit. She's pretty neutral because they're going for a little bit of color contrast. And you can actually see that they move the light to more downwards, because beforehand, this ceiling was very bright because the light was shining like this. And now that they tilted it down a lot, the whole ceiling gets a lot darker. And now we have a lot more separation on her. As you can see, she is pretty bright now and separates perfectly from the background because also of her color choice and her hair. Just a really, really nice look. And also you can see Haze here most of the time in the background. Just it slides a little bit into a character, but I think it looks pretty okay. The key here is probably just one big bounce I would probably use just to counter the light and fill her in a little bit, or just use a big light dome and just move with it to just give her a little bit of kick, because you can see she gets light probably from this direction, really frontal, but from above, so that it wraps nicely across her body. And they didn't go for a too contrast look, because normally when the light comes from here, she should be half lit, but it always depends on the mood and situation. This is a commercial. You can do whatever you want. As long as it fits the mood, just go with it and don't think too much about logic. Here's another shot with volumetric light. And what I like about this is you don't have to light everything. So you have a goal. What is the purpose of the scene? We want a wide shot, we want her to feel isolated, she's going into a new room. So where should the audience look like? The audience should look at this place. So we have this nice window that we have as light motivation, and this is the only light that's keying the whole room. You can also, here is probably also light. You can add one here and add one here. So, but why did they not do this? Because our job as a cinematographer is always to lead the view of the audience, and we want to lead the view at her. So we turn everything off on this side of the frame to create separation, to create a silhouette, and because these details are not important at all in this situation, so we can remove it. Just in the next shot, here could be light. It doesn't matter. No one will notice. But for the moment, we want the audience to feel or look please at this direction. We turn everything off and just add the light at this plane, at the floor. In this shot, they also did something I never seen before. I think they put foil in front of the windows and still added a light and shot through it to get this nice reddish colors here. I think that's a unique technique, that you just change the ambience of the room with foil and add a little bit of color. I don't know what's exactly the purpose of this commercial. If red is their product color or something like that. But I think that really adds a new visual. And I think in the next project, I will try this out, because I think, like I said before, just a little nice touch to make something more different and more interesting. Because our job always find something to make it a little bit more interesting. This is another shot I really liked from the commercial. We have this woman here in the right third of the image, then 1 foot coming from above. And what I like about the shot is the placement of color. We have this red socks, this red hat, and we placed it in front of this green roll. Green and red are on the opposite side of the color wheel, so they pop really nice in front of each other. And that's just smart placement. It's not this. This shot is very cool, has really cool composition, because we have leading lines that, with the light here, that leads our eyes into here. Then we have this color separation from red to green, which makes it even more pop. And then we have this nice lit vignette that comes from here that also makes her punch a lot. And also the frame is really nice placed, because she's not just in the middle, pretty boring. She is in a nice, cool position who makes the image more interesting. Can explore a lot more with different angles and positions. Don't try to always just fill your character inside the scene. Just try to make it sometimes a little bit smaller. When you have something like here, where the leading lines help to lead the viewer into one direction, everything looks way more artistic and way more professional because you thought about your shot. You can always go for an easy way, but adding shots like this, where there are a lot of different layers, they keep on adding up to make the image more interesting. It will improve the look of your commercial and highlights a lot. So this is a shot from a different time of the commercial and also very, very cool. We have this woman on the bull and these other people circling around her, which makes this shot so interesting. One thing is we have this really nice white. Always drop your character into frames. It leads the eye. Always cool look. We have this nice ceiling that is completely out of glass, which makes nice ambience across the room, but also acts like a practical. But when you now look at the person, the light is actually pretty side-lit. For everyone, the light comes from this direction. The reason for it, when you have a wide shot like this and you want your contrast continuity where everything looks very punchy, you add a side light. You try to side a light from the side because normally the light should clearly come from the ceiling. And as you can see, these windows are actually pretty dark. So there's actually no way that this light is coming from there. But because it's a commercial and it's filmmaking, we don't care. We want to enhance our look, make everything pop in this situation. So they probably added big light sources here on the side and try to hit every one of them from the side. Also try to get a little bit more contrast maybe on his back so that we light from here. We added negative in all the walls here and here maybe to get a little bit more contrast. Like I said before, the ambience here is pretty high and it's also possible that we mask out the light here. But there's just something like a light dome here that giving her and the bull the key. Or but this looks very 8x8 bounce light for me, or something like an umbrella light what they use for a lot of beauty commercials, but very side-lit, and they mask it out and later. What I find interesting that they added here these Astera lights everywhere. Normally like a shot like this I would find it weird to add Asteras because I don't think they need it actually, but maybe it helps to sell the vision that there's actually light coming from the side, because you can see it stops also here. We don't get any further in this direction. What they make good, it's not maybe they wear the light sockets and they just added the light in there, because just putting Asteras somewhere is, sometimes looks very cheap. But in this situation I think it looks totally fine. Overall this is an amazing shot. Also love the color choices and the outfits of the people. Also here on the bull, that you, when you know she's riding on dark bull, give her a little bit of a brighter pants because you get now more separation. Also here the walls are a little bit warm, so we gave her a blue jacket for a little bit more color contrast. It's a lot of these little things that don't people think about too much, because I hear a lot of directors say, "Oh, just wear black, just wear white, so it's nothing special." But these are the things that most of the time make your image or your cinematography better than everyone else, because you think about colors. Your jobs always think light, colors, position, everything. And sometimes this close part a lot of people ignore, but it's sometimes 50% of your image is what the person wears. So don't just ignore it, use it to enhance your vision even more. So if you enjoyed this video, I really appreciate the subscription from you. Check out the info box for some discount codes. My name is Marco Bagnoli and see you next time.